it does, the mind? It makes us wonder. It jumps to a past. Past is over. Past is gone. We can do nothing about it. But it will take us there. It will make us nurse our hurt and curse our hurt and rehearse our hurt. What is the point? Somebody has hurt you. Somebody has disappointed you. Somebody has cheated you. Somebody has stolen your happiness. But it's over. When you let your mind go there, not only has that person stolen your happiness, you are letting your mind continue to steal your happiness. How do you get out of this? By what is known as a state of consciousness. Consciousness is being in that state of realization. Consciousness is being in that state of enlightenment. And don't think of it as a very complicated matter. Don't think enlightenment to be a very big terminology. No. Switching on the light, you overcome the dark layers of ignorance. You realize the truth. You become conscious of the truth of who you are. Are you the body? The body will die. Are you the mind? Where is the mind? You cannot find. Are you the ego that says I, me, my, mine? Nothing is mine. It is such a simple fact that we bring nothing, we take nothing. Everybody knows it, but nobody knows it. Everybody knows it, but nobody knows it. Because if you know it, then you will not live a life that is so attached to people, to possessions. You will liberate yourself and be in that state. How do you get there? Today's focus, today's main subject, to develop that state of consciousness. I would be happy if you ask me questions on how you are going to reach that state of consciousness. What is that meaning of Sat Chit Anand? The essential goal is to reach that state of Sat Chit Anand. Sat Chit Anand is a state of eternal bliss, everlasting peace, where there is no misery, no suffering. Can you reach that state? Yes. That's why we are here for. Let us start with asking questions. Administrator?
Sanjay Das.
Sanjay Das, can you please start your question? Sanjay Das.
Yeah, good evening, Shivam Guruji.
Shivam, Sanjay.
I had a question in my mind. How do we monitor our path towards enlightenment?
How do we
Day by
monitor?
day. How do we monitor our path towards we are going right or wrong or towards enlightenment? Yeah.
So when have you last taken a road trip, Sanjay Das?
Road trip? No, 1 month back.
Where have you gone? To from outstation?
Nearby, in Pune, only nearby.
Okay. Suppose you're going from.
Sir. I had been to Mumbai last month.
Suppose you're going from Pune to Mumbai. How do you know how much time more is left? How much more distance is left? How do you know?
Because the milestones are written.
Excellent. So every path in this life has milestones.
Okay.
There are milestones. So enlightenment also is a highway. So you pass the milestones. So there are many milestones. So if you go and study the Upanishads, they will tell you Vairagya, Viveka, Shat Shampat, Mumukshutva. Don't break your head in knowing that. I'm here to simplify it. That means you have to live with discrimination, dispassion, discipline, and desire for the divine. Now, as you're going on the path, Sanjay Das, have you been able to renounce those things which made you a slave? For example, for me, it was masala dosa. It was a simple thing. It used to make me mad. I was crazy about it. So I gave it up. When I gave it up, doesn't mean I don't eat. But I said, I will not ask for it. If it comes on my table, I will eat. But I will not tell somebody, go bring me dosa. No, I will not ask. So you should be able to become a master of your passions. Second, you should have the ability to discriminate. If your mind is giving a thought and you do it and you regret, that means your faculty of discrimination is not active. So these are some milestones.
Yeah.
Then the third milestone is called Shat Shampat, means the 6 virtues or the 6 disciplines. Again, I'm just giving you for the sake of reference. Sama, Dama, Upariti, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. These are 6 small milestones. Control of the mind, control of the body senses, withdrawal from the enemy. Suppose there's an enemy. A tortoise is walking and suddenly the tortoise finds an enemy coming. The tortoise puts its head outside and then slowly puts its head back and goes back and into the shell.
Right.
This is taught to us. It's called Upariti, withdrawal from the enemies that will take us away from enlightenment. And finally, Sanjay Das, the final milestone. Of course, I can give you more and more milestones. It's not that you don't know the milestones. You're coming for the call every day. Every day, you have the book, Enlightenment book. You have or you don't have?
Yes, yeah, we have.
Finally, go through that book and take a special pencil and put milestone, MS, 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 or M for milestone, and mark in that book. You will find many milestones.
Right.
So what should you do, Sanjay Das? Which are the milestones that you have put a tick mark? Put a tick mark. Which are the milestones that it's wrong, you need to correct? Now, most important. Suppose it's telling you Bombay 45 kilometers, correct? And after 5 minutes, it tells you Bombay 60 kilometers. What does it mean?
We are back, not going in the front.
What does it mean?
Huh?
What does it mean? You are going on the highway. Suddenly from 45 kilometers becomes 60 kilometers. What does it mean?
The milestone must be wrong, sir.
No. This is where you are wrong, Sanjay Das.
You are going in the wrong direction.
Now somebody, you have got another master has given you the answer. I didn't have to give you the answer.
I am not the master.
Rajendra.
So Sanjay Das, this happens by mistake. By mistake, sometimes we take a wrong exit.
Okay.
Some new construction is coming. It was showing something. It was showing New Bombay something. We took a turn and we went away in the wrong direction. Now to come back to the main highway, it will take extra 15 kilometers to come back to the main highway.
Got it, sir. Got it.
So Sanjay Das, it is very important. Today I started with a subject called consciousness. Sanjay Das, you are a very sincere seeker. I can assure you one thing. If you keep your sincerity alive, Sanjay Das, you will reach the goal of enlightenment.
Thank you so much.
I can give you guarantee. Whether that enlightenment will lead to liberation, I cannot promise you, because that is not depending on me. What I can help you switch on the light. Yeah. I can show you the path. I can put the milestones. I can't drive the car. I am not in charge of the car, Sanjay Das. Yes. You are driving the car. Even if I tell you, Sanjay Das, please be on this drive. If Google is telling you, go straight, but you take left turn, you cannot blame Google.
Right, I got it, sir.
So there are many milestones. One of these, I told you these 4 milestones. Another 4 milestones would be Dhyana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga.
Yeah, you told us.
So please stick on to that. One of the milestones which you are already doing, Sanjay Das, is silence. You are already doing chanting. So you're already following certain milestones are already there on your enlightenment path.
Right.
Keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going. Don't stop.
Thank you. Sure, sir.
Thank you, Sanjay Das. Sure. Next question, please. Gautam. Shivam, Gautam.
My question is that at last 2 to 3 days, I was going for cricket. So cricket match.
Cricket match.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they in the ground there's a grass and small trees which I can see. So when I go for fielding, we have to stamp the grass and trees. So all it may dry it will die all. I think it will die. There are many small trees, 3 to 4 inches, and there are many destiny plants also. So by stamping that, it may affect my karma, or what I should have to do. I should not feel. I should not.
Are you trying to become Sachin Tendulkar or Sunil Gavaskar? What are you trying to become?
No. I'm just trying to catch the ball. That's all.
See, Gautam, Answering your point to the point, if you're running on grass, that is something natural. I do not believe it's karma. Yes, if you are going there and you're going on plucking all the grass or plucking all the roses and throwing on the ground is not a positive karma. But walking on grass, I don't think it's a big issue.
But we have to feel. But we have to feel the. We have to do fielding. No, the grass and plants will come and will die under the.
My question is something else. You are still wanting to play cricket and you don't want to become a cricketer. Why don't you spend that time in something more productive?
Morning just 1 hour ago. That's all, 1 to 1.5 hours.
So that's a good exercise. So then I suggest it's okay, play cricket, forget about it. Remember one thing, everything in this world is God.
Yeah.
So if you're stamping on grass also, it's God. If you're stamping on sand also, it's God. But who is stamping on God? God is stamping on God. But you cannot understand that till you reach that state of God realization. So my answer to you, don't worry about it. You're fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One more question I have here.
Yes.
So, for human beings, can human beings they smoke, they drink alcohol, they eat gutta? Can they be enlightenment?
Enlightenment means realizing the truth. If you are drinking alcohol, and have you seen? I'm only going to touch one subject of yours. Have you seen a man who's drinking alcohol and extra drinking of alcohol? You walk on the road. What do you see his condition? Have you seen, or should I tell you?
I have seen.
He's fallen on the road. He's broken his head. He's in the footpath. How can such a person be enlightened? That ends the question, Gautam. Let us not go beyond. Let us use our common sense on what is right and what is wrong.
Okay,
thank you, Gautam.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Rinkesh. Yes, Rinkesh.
Shivam, Guruji.
Shivam, Rinkesh.
Sir, Guruji, my question is that, like, why you have to face the karma? Actually, we born our past life. We don't know what we had born, what we had did. But the sins, why should we continue in the new life?
So you are suppose you are going from Bangalore to Bombay. Where you're going? Bangalore to Bombay.
Okay.
Suddenly you go to Bombay, and when you're living in a new house, there's a bang knock on your door, and the knock on the door. You say, yes, who it is? He says, sir, I'm coming from Citibank. He says, why are you coming to my house? Sir, you're taking a loan in Bangalore from Citibank. You're not paid the money. You run away from Bangalore. You come to Bombay. We tracked you. We tracked you through your mobile phone, and now you have to pay. So you have to pay, or you don't have to pay. Just because you run away from Bangalore, you came to Bombay, your loan to Citibank, you have to pay, or you don't have to pay.
Of course, I'll have to pay.
Of course, same with karma. Same with karma. You did something in one life and you did not pay. You died. So if you died, then what happens? You don't escape. You come back, you pay. You can't escape from karma. Karma is not for one life. Karma is life after life after life. So don't think that you can do some karma and you can escape. Sorry, you can't. So that's the answer. Next question. Thank you, Rinkesh. Next.
Okay. Thank you, Guruji.
Ajitek Dada.
शिवम सर.
शिवम अजितेक.
जी. सर, ये मैंने सुना है कि परमात्मा 90% अपने बैड कर्मास खत्म कर देते हैं. इज इट करेक्ट सर?
परमात्मा 90% बैड कर्मा खत्म कर देते हैं, मतलब
फिनिश कर देते हैं.
बाकी
जो हम भुगतते हैं वो खाली 10%.
नो, ऐसे सुना है सर. हाँ, कैसे करेंगे? किसने बताया आपको ये?
सर, ये वीडियो पे ही देखा था.
ये तो बहुत यही तो प्रॉब्लम है ना. ये सुनो, आज तो if there are 100 seekers, there are 1,000 masters. If there are 100 seekers, there are 1,000 masters. Everybody wants to put video without understanding the reality of life. So God has created the law of karma. You cannot escape it. You cannot escape from the law of karma, my dear Ajitek. 90% karma. Oh, now I know where you're coming from. Now I know. You know where
Yes.
you're coming from? Now I can tell you. So many religions will tell you that you pay 10% of your earning to the church or temple or whatever. I don't want to comment on that. And God will suffer on your behalf. The Lord has come down and the Lord will be suffering on your behalf. Now it's for you to believe. Why will God come and suffer on your behalf? You are doing the killing. You are doing the crime. You are doing the bad karma. Why will God delete 90%? If God wants to delete 90% of karma while doing it, then everybody will do crime. Let us all do crime. Let us all go and cheat and rob and steal. God will take care 90%. We have to pay only 10%. This is a wrong. वो वीडियो जिसका भी है उसको आप अपने YouTube से डिलीट कर दो. I don't know whose video it is. वो उसको unsubscribe करो. पहले तो please unsubscribe that from your list.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jite. Thank you, Shivo. Navjot.
Shivoham, sir.
Shivoham.
Sir, I have 2 questions and a suggestion. Starting with the question, we all believe, many people believe that meditation is closing eyes and a breathing pattern, but I want to know what actually meditation is. And the second...
We'll go one question by one question.
Okay.
So you can ask me the second question after I finish. So meditation is not about sitting in a fancy position with a special yoga mat and a yoga t-shirt and the yoga music and the yoga aroma and the yoga scent and the yoga light, and then sitting down in a fancy position with the spine erect and the head straight, and the mind is wandering everywhere. And the mind is wandering here and there. That is not meditation.
Right.
Meditation is the ability to slow down the mind. The mind is bombarding us with about 50 thoughts a minute. Whether you use guided meditation, silence, chanting, there are different ways of meditation. Different people. Sanjay Das uses chanting. If the chanting can help Sanjay Das to cut down the speed of the mind, which it will, if you are sincere, if you are concentrating, or for example, some people, they put a candle, they light a candle and they look at the flame. And they look at the flame. And they look at the flame. And nothing else. Some people, they look at waves hitting at a rock. But normally, there has to be some point of concentration. In meditation, if there is no point of concentration or contemplation, then the mind will wander. Right. Ultimately, meditation is supposed to take you to a state of Chaturiyam or consciousness or Satchit Anand. The most famous saint is known as Patanjali. Patanjali spoke of the Ashtanga Yoga, 8-limb yoga. He called it Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. He talked about 8 steps. And in that 8 steps, Dhyana, concentration, Dharana, meditation, come before the level of Samadhi. Samadhi is a state of consciousness. Shh. You are able to watch the mind. You are able to witness the mind. The mind is going and jumping to your mother-in-law, you bring back the mind. Your child has an examination, the mind goes there, bring back the mind. The mind says, I would like to eat a good biryani, bring back the mind. The mind will go here and there. Meditation is to bring peace, is to bring stillness, is to bring silence. Continue your next question, please.
My next question is, we meet every day and we ask questions. So is it not the mind asking such questions? If we go on round and round asking questions, how will we go beyond the mind?
Your mind will not let you ask questions. It is your intellect that is probing the question. It is the power of your intelligence. The subtle body, which is not the physical body of nose, ears. Like in the physical body, we have eyes, nose, ears, mouth, hand, skin, blood, bones. In the subtle body, you have mind, intellect, memory, and ego. The mind distorts us. The one who is asking the question, if it's a sincere ask air question in this chat, it is not the mind. You want to know which is the mind? If Gautam says, I'm playing cricket and I'm running over the grass, that is a question of the mind. That is not a question of the intellect. And
Right.
who else asked me that if drinking is good and eating gutka, and these are questions of the
So
mind.
the mind wants you to allow it to eat those things.
Yeah, but the intellect should shoot down that question.
Right.
That is not an intellectual question.
Right.
An intellectual question coming here, everybody will know which is an intellectual question
Right.
and which is a question of the mind.
The mind is asking such questions because it wants to do those things.
What is the intellect doing?
Intellect is asking questions which are really questions.
But the intellect must shoot down the idiotic question of the mind.
Right.
The intellect should not permit such a question.
Right.
So, have I finished both your questions?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Krishna Sharma.
Shivoham, sir.
Shivoham.
How the good and evil are created, sir?
Nothing is good and evil. Nothing is good and bad. Everything is perfect. Now, when you hear this, you're like, how can it be possible? I mean, I already know your feeling. I already know your reaction in your mind. How can this be possible? So, when you reach that level of enlightenment, then you realize everything in this world is a drama. ये तो एक नाटक है, कुछ सच ना है, प्रभु की ये लीला है, ये माया है. So Krishna Sharma, I don't want to start singing. The point is this: everything that's happening in this world is a drama. For example, I'm telling you, something is very good. Okay, that person has got good karma, that person has got good education, they are doing good. Now something is very bad. He's a criminal. Okay, his karma is bad, his upbringing is bad, but even that criminal is God. Even that criminal is God. It is very difficult, Krishna Sharma, for me to explain this to you. How can criminal be God? It is just like a goldsmith taking gold, and from the gold he makes Murti of Ganapati. And from the same gold, he makes Ravana with 10 heads. Yeah, but essentially, whether it is Ravana or Ganapati, it is gold. It is not good and bad. Everything in this, you must reach that level where nothing is ugly. When some people say, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, what about an ugly lizard? You agree? According to lizard, is very beautiful or ugly?
That is a God's creation. So it should be this one only, beautiful only.
But when we look at many things, we look at them as dirty.
Yeah, we feel like that.
But in the law of relativity, what will one lizard think about another lizard?
Yes.
They will think it's beautiful only, no?
But
Because
what is the difficulty for our mind to get away from the evil and go for the good things? What is stopping us in our mind?
That's why in the past, the educational system was dharma, artha, kama, moksha. In today's world, what we are teaching children? We are teaching children mathematics, science, biology, computer science, all kinds
You get a good job, you earn this much money.
Huh?
Hey, you study well, you earn good job, get a good job, you earn so much of money. Like that only we are teaching.
That's all we are teaching. We
Yeah.
are not paying attention to morals, ethics, values. Our children will become, they will just run after success, run after achievement, make money, become big shots, and one day they will die. What is the use, Krishna Sharma? Am I saying lies? What I'm saying
No,
every-
no, it is happening. We are seeing in the society.
So, Krishna Sharma, our goal, your goal, is to look at good and bad both with the eyes of divinity. You look, suppose somebody, I'm telling you, suppose somebody is very good, your good friend. Huh? You tell your good friend, come on, let us eat mithai. But your neighbor who's your enemy, bad fellow. Bad fellow means you tell him 10 times, don't park your car in front of my gate.
They will park opposite to our gate only.
Huh? Purposely
They will park opposite to our gate only.
So what do you think? What a dirty fellow he is.
Yes.
But the moment you know he is a manifestation of God, then it will change.
Not
It's
possible,
easy.
sir.
Krishna Sharma, do you want peace of mind? Do you want to
Yeah.
move in the right direction?
No, peace
Then
of mind we want.
Then Krishna Sharma, no point in losing our peace. Thank you, Krishna Sharma.
Yes.
Shivoham, next question. Karan Singh,
So I have typed question.
you have pasted the question. So Karan Singh's question is, big question, is it? After liberation, few years later, maybe few million years later, million years, a lifespan is only 100 years. A divine wants to send the enlightened ones to come back. Who will come back? Body is already burnt to the earth again. Will it be in the hands of the divine or a choice of the enlightened soul to come back or not? And if an enlightened soul come back to earth, shall his karmic cycle start from zero? You must join Bollywood. And this is a good plot for a Bollywood movie. Huh? Om Shanti Om kind of movie. You should join. If you have got Karan Singh, you want to make it so complicated, no? Then everything you put in your statement is wrong. For example, people say, after my grandfather died and I burnt his body, when will my grandfather come back? How will your grandfather come back when you burnt his body? The Atma can come, the mind and ego can come. The person, how can your grandfather, whom you burnt with your own hands, how can he come back when he has become mud? So this is what some religions believe, that they shall rise from the grave and they will go to the heavens and the star, along with Richard Branson's latest aeroplane. Richard Branson now has made an aeroplane that will take you into space. So now everybody wants to go to Richard Branson, because from the grave, straight away Richard Branson will take you from the grave into your... So I think, Karan Singh, what you're saying is mythology. It is fairy tales. I can't answer your question because every step, so I'm quickly going to say what you answered. After liberation, few years, maybe few billion years, few million years. We don't know million years. We are not interested in million years. We are only interested in our life, which should last 20, 30, 40 years. We are not interested in talking about million years, first point, because that is the mind taking you there. The divine wants to send the enlightened ones back to come back to earth. How will you send the enlightened ones come back to earth when their body is burnt and buried and become ashes? Everything that you are saying, will it be in the hands of the divine? The divine does not have hands. What hands of the divine? The divine has created universal laws. Everything happens by the law. The choice of the enlightened soul. The soul doesn't have choice. The soul is a part of the divine soul. Everything is contradicting in your question. So please come back tomorrow with modified questions, my dear Karan Singh, and then we will address your question. Please don't be offended. I don't mean to harm you. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. I am just being honest with my answer to your question. Thank you.
Yes, sir, I got it.
Thank you. Veena.
Namaste, Master.
Namaste, Veena.
We crossed at 8:30. Shall I go or?
Yeah, go ahead. We have 4 more minutes to close. 8:35 is the alarm to shut down.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Master. Master, what exactly this consciousness means, and what's the role of the conscious in our life?
Veena, very good question. Thank you. Veena, consciousness means you become the witness. You become the observer. Consciousness is that state where we know that I am awake, we know. Then I am sleeping, we know. When I am dreaming, we know. When I am having sound asleep, we know. This is the state. The first state is the waking state. The second state is the dreaming state. The third state is the deep sleep state. Consciousness is the fourth state. Chaturiyam, Turiyam, Samadhi, different names. This consciousness means you are observing. You're observing the waker, the dreamer, and the sleeper. You reach that state of being the Atma, the divine spirit, the soul. You are in that state of consciousness where your mind is under your control. You are able to watch everything like you're watching a drama. That is the state of consciousness. The reward, Sat Chit Anand. You will be free from all suffering and you will be in a state of eternal bliss and everlasting peace. Thank you, Veena. We still have one or two questions. Who's it? Bridget. Yes, Bridget. Your question is written here. I'm reading Bridget. Now, what more do I have to do? Read, listen, silence. Is it my karma for not being at the right time to reach enlightenment? How much time it can take before I reach? My dear Bridget, enlightenment takes only 1 second. How long it takes to switch on the light, Bridget? If you're in a dark room and you want to switch on the light, like that, that's all. That's how enlightenment will take. That's all. But to prepare for switching on the light, you need the bulb, you need the wire, you need the switch, you need all the equipment. Without connecting the bulb, can you switch on the light? How can you switch on the light if there is no bulb? How can you switch on the light if there is no wire? How can you switch on the light if there is no switch? So enlightenment is the process of you connecting all the equipment, and then the time, only 1 second. So you are not late. You are dedicated. I told you that you are attended 50 calls. Last 50 days, you are there every day. You know the meaning of a stone cutter? A man has a rock, big rock. What he does, he takes a hammer and a chisel and he hits, cut. Rock doesn't break. What he does, he continues, tuck. One day what happens, Bridget? One time after 100, 30, 40, 50, 60 times, what happens?
We will success.
The rock breaks.
Yes.
The rock breaks. So like that, we should also continue like that. I think we have reached the end of the time. So if anybody wants to ask an urgent question, you can ask me now. Who's it? Motkulanand and? Only one? And? Gaurish. If it's urgent, or will you ask me tomorrow? Motkulanand and Gaurish, since you are regular attenders, would you like to ask me now or tomorrow?
Sir, tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, my dear friends, because I respect your time. We have only 30 minutes. I steal 5 minutes more sometimes to close the call, but that is to give you a closure on the subject. My dear friends, each one of you is a sincere seeker of enlightenment. Each one of you who's coming onto this call every day wants to know, wants to realize the truth. Let me tell you, this is the biggest wealth of our life. Not the money that we will leave in our bank, not the gold and the jewelry and the diamonds. None of this is going to be of any use. What we seek is eternal bliss, everlasting peace. We want happiness. We want to build a connection with God. You know what the Bible says? The kingdom of God is within you. God lives in the temple of your heart, but still all the Christians are running outside. The Hindus are building thousands of gods, lakhs of gods, when in reality, that very God is inside. These questions will take us to self-realization and to God realization. I am grateful to all of you for coming onto this call. I bow down and thank you.